and appreciate you coming in today. So I'll try to make this as painless as possible for you today. It should take about 15 minutes or so, but we briefly want you to have a better understanding of why we call this the Hillcrest Thrift Shop, and then a little bit about what it's like to volunteer here at a thrift operation. So first of all, we'd just like to help you understand the bigger picture of Hillcrest. Started about 36 years ago over in Clay County, and then it's bounced around from several different counties, from Clay County to eastern Jackson County over to Platte County here, both on the south and the north side here in Platte City, over on the Kansas side in Wyandotte County and Johnson County, and then our last county has been up in Buchanan County. And so and it just started with a couple that wanted to help some people out. They were going through some rough time financially themselves and got through it with the help of some people. It took them about a year, and when they got done, they couldn't imagine going through what they did alone. And so they said, we're going to help other people that are like us. They're going through the same situation. And that's how it all started, with one apartment. And then we have over 100 apartments citywide now as far as Hillcrest, Kansas City goes. Now this thrift operation is strictly for Platte County only. So in Platte County, we've been over here about 15 years now. And we started with apartments in Parkville and then have expanded with apartments here in Platte City. Then we were also the first county to start a thrift operation down in Parkville, and then have expanded that also, another thrift operation up here in Platte City. So we're working toward 40 apartments up here in Platte County that we're operating a homeless ministry on. So what's a homeless ministry, or what we call a transitional housing ministry for the homeless? It's where we set up a fully furnished apartment, and then an individual and or a family, typically would be single moms with children, will come into the apartment, and we'll let them stay pretty much cost-free, and we even pick up child care if we need to, and then that affords them to save every penny they make or buy down the debt that they have, and anyway, we get them back in a financial situation to get them out on their own again. So that's why we refer to it as a hand up, not a handout. Our clients do have to be working and have income coming in, and so we tend to have our niche to the working homeless, and so we've been recognized as a best practice, and what that means is 95% of these families do not return back to a homeless situation when they go through our program. So we're not for everybody, but what we do very well. And so this thrift operation serves as a funding stream for this ministry. And so everything that you see in this thrift shop's been donated, and then we take it, and if the housing can't use it, then we'll put it through our thrift operation, ask for donations for it. We raise that money to help fund that transitional housing ministry right here in our own backyard. And so I share these things with you for several reasons. You need to know what's going on in your own backyard. It's estimated as many as 2,000 students just north of the river do not have a permanent address. We refer to them as the invisible homeless, because you just don't see them on the street corners, but they're there, and we're addressing this real issue in our own community. And so we also share this. We don't spend a lot of money on marketing, so we ask you to help us get the word out on this. A lot of people aren't even aware of what's going on in their own backyard, or organizations like us that are helping people out there. You need to feel good about what you're doing here, even though it may seem trivial at times, or somewhat unimportant as far as what you're doing throughout the processes collectively. At the end of the day, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, collectively, we're making big improvements and impacting many, many families right here in the community. And so we have to continue to build up our thrift operations to be able to afford things like new apartment complexes. When we're seeing as many as 60 applications come in 1 month's time, we only have so many apartments. And so the thrift operation has helped us being able to afford those big ticket items that we couldn't normally afford, and trying to meet the needs of the community. So it's been great. We've also seen some great synergy between the thrift operation and the housing, where let's say an individual comes in, they just have a couple of bags of stuff to their name. We get them up to a position where they can get out on their own again, but they have to go out and buy new furniture, new household everything. I mean, they have to furnish a complete apartment to make it. And so we also, the synergy then between the thrift operation can help them do that in a much more affordable way. And so that's been neat to see that part too, as far as that synergy working together well on the housing side. So as far as being a volunteer here, We ask all the volunteers to park on the end of the buildings, never in the front. Volunteers can come in as early as 9, but they have to, everybody leaves at closing time. We have a number of different ways that you get involved in the thrift operation, from jobs where you can sit down and do things or stand up, projects that last 1 hour, 3 hours. We have volunteers that just come in half days, some that come in full days. Some volunteers come in once a month, some volunteers come in several days a week. And so it can look a lot of different ways. We have over a dozen departments you can get involved in here at the thrift operation. So we tend to be a full-scale thrift operation. That means we sell furniture and appliances and sporting goods and home and garden, besides some of the normal things you would see in a thrift operation, which would be household items, kitchen items, kitchen appliances, and clothing. And so we are full scale. So there's a lot of diversity, a lot of variety here in our operation in which you can get involved. And so we make it very easy for you to get involved, and we are so glad that you're here because we need so much help that we're barely keeping up with everything coming in. But we're off to a great track up here in Platte City, and we're excited about the involvement that we've had both from the community partners and new volunteers like yourself coming in to help us out. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
All right. When you come in, you're on your first day. You just need to get a hold of the cash register, a lady, and she can get a hold of a manager for you. We'll come in. We'll show you how to plug in on a computer. We keep track of all our volunteer hours. Everybody wears a name badge. As a volunteer, you'll wear a name badge like this, but it'll be white. The staff will wear a green name badge, and then volunteer team leaders also have green name badges. And so we will provide you training for what we need you to do, and we'll just get started that way. And then typically we'll just have you help in an area where we need the most help to get started, and then we'll talk about areas that you have a stronger interest in. Make sure that we like up or match up some of your strengths to one of the areas that needs the most help, so you can have some more fun with it. So typically I give you a brief tour here before we get finished if you don't have any other questions. I'm sure I forgot something, but once you have a question when you come in, just ask. And we'll give you a brief tour here before you head home today, give you a walk through the back rooms, let you see a little bit more behind the scenes what's going on.
Okay.
All right? All right. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.